Greetings, Disney adults. Disney fans of all ages, welcome. Disney Springs. Have you ever been there before? If you don't know, it is a shopping district at Disney World. Tons of shops, tons of places to buy merchandise, a lot of places to eat. They've got fine dining. They've got quick service options, and don't get me started on snacks. You got amarettes for pastries, you got Sprinkles donuts, my son's personal favorite, Gideon's Bakehouse for cookies, and of course merchandise. This shirt that I'm wearing right here, we bought at Disney Springs, World of Disney, the Disney Co-op. A lot of wonderful things and wonderful places to shop and to go. There's a movie theater there. There's a bowling alley there. There's even some attractions. You can ride the amphicars, the boat cars. You can ride in a balloon. It's a really cool place. And today we're going to ask, what would Walt think? But we're actually going to do this one a little bit differently because I'm more focused on what Walt would think of the original incarnation, the original plan for Disney Springs. Originally, it was called Lake Buena Vista. And we're going to talk about the plans and the initial development and drawing for Lake Buena Vista. In my research for my People Mover and my monorail videos, I found out a lot of new things about Buena Vista Village that I'd never known before. And it's always kind of exciting, especially if you're a history buff like me, and a Disney history buff especially, to find out something new. And so I want to ask what Walt would think of the original Buena Vista Village, and yes, we'll expand it to ask what Walt would think of Disney Springs. Before we do any of that, we of course have to take a little trip and go back in time. It is 1967. The Disney Company, indeed the entire world, is still reeling and mourning the loss of Walt Disney. Uncle Walt passed away on December 15th, 1966, of cancer. And this left the Disney Company and the world wondering what was going to happen next. Here, Walt's older brother, Roy, who had planned to retire in 1967, made the choice to postpone his retirement, and he was already thinking ahead to calling this Walt Disney World in honor of his brother. He postponed his retirement so he could complete at least the first phase of the Florida project. On May 30th, 1967, ground was broken for Walt Disney World. Included in the original Phase 1 plans was the Magic Kingdom, the theme park, basically Disneyland East, and also included in Phase 1 plans were two hotels, the Contemporary Resort and the Polynesian Resort. A Phase 2 would have included hotels such as an Asian resort, I believe a Moroccan-themed resort were in the works. The idea of an Epcot Center was kind of put on hold, although Imagineers kept wanting to come back to it. And in the mid-70s they did, but that's another video. Also in 1967, if you look at these plans, there were drawings for something called Lake Buena Vista, which is located in what is now Disney Springs. These original plans would have included, like we have now, shopping, restaurants, but they also would have included townhomes. And the Disney Company itself even called this project a prototype for the prototype. In other words, this was sort of laying the groundwork for a future Epcot. If the Disney company could make this work, then perhaps Epcot Center could follow. You notice in the original design for Lake Buena Vista, a monorail that would have taken you from the Magic Kingdom and the hotels to Disney Springs. You also notice people movers that would take you from place to place all around Lake Buena Vista. So, Lake Buena Vista, like I said, became a prototype of the prototype. Basically an idea to see, can we make something work? Now, what we got in 1975 was Lake Buena Vista Village. A lot of that original design, minus the people mover, minus the monorails. But the Disney idea still for the area was townhomes, sort of a scaled back version of Epcot with shopping, dining, and like I said, places for people to live or to at least live temporarily. So, what would Walt think of all this? I kind of think Walt would be pleased. I think Walt would have said, okay, if we can't build Epcot, I like the idea of coming up with something else. Something that sort of imitates that idea. I think what Walt would have said, like I indicated in my People Mover video, why didn't you continue with the monorail and the People Mover? That was such a good idea. Why didn't you do that? But I think overall, Walt would say shopping has to be there. We have to have places to eat and places to shop. People don't want to just ride rides all the time. So, why wasn't the People Mover built? Why wasn't the monorail extended out towards Buena Vista? I believe the ultimate answer to that is, of course, money. And something to think about too, and something that the Disney company could not have predicted, was the fuel shortage of the 1970s. You've seen videos and you've seen pictures of cars literally backed up for miles waiting to get just a couple of gallons of gas from a gas station that actually had gasoline. People were struggling just to get to work and to school. People definitely weren't traveling on massive vacations. And so the fuel shortage hit the Disney company hard, just like it hit all companies at the time. Some things had to go, including Disney's idea for a People Mover, Disney's idea for a monorail that would take you all the way out to Buena Vista Village. And unfortunately, we never saw it come back. Although count me as one of those folks who would love to take a monorail to Disney Springs and then hop on a People Mover to sort of take a ride around it. I think that would be cool. Now, Buena Vista Village, which opened, like I said, in 1975, underwent a number of name changes. 1975, it was the Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village. Then it became the Walt Disney World Village in 1977, the Disney Village Marketplace in 1989. The name was changed to Downtown Disney in 1995, and finally, 2015, it became Disney Springs that we know today. Now, the shopping area underwent a massive extension around the time that it became Disney Springs, around 2015. And back in the 80s, of course, Pleasure Island was there. what was Pleasure Island, is now a part of Disney Springs. As is the original Buena Vista Village, it is still there. I believe it's known as the Marketplace area. If you go to the Marketplace area, that is what once was Buena Vista Village. So, a little bit different video here. I think Walt would be pleased with Disney Springs. I know I personally love Disney Springs. It's a very, very cool place to visit with a lot of shops, some wonderful restaurants to go to. My only complaint is my family and I only make a couple of visits a year, so it's going to take us forever to eat at all the restaurants we'd like to eat in at Disney Springs. Shout out Art Smith's Homecoming, still my favorite so far. But I believe Walt would be pleased with Disney Springs. But tell me what you think. Is Disney Springs a place that you like to visit? If you haven't visited Disney Springs yet, make a point to go there and spend a couple of hours at Disney Springs on your next Disney World vacation. It is worth it. It's a very, very cool place to go. So, thank you for watching this video. Give me a like, comment, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you at Disney World.